Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Penn State Sports Night's coverage of the NFL. I'm Jason Marcus alongside Dylan Huberman and Jordan Kalfon. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of the headlines coming out of this week in the NFL. One of the biggest stories, however, Texans rookie quarterback Deshaun Watson went down in practice earlier this week with a non-contact injury, resulted in a torn ACL, and he is out for the year. And an unfortunate start for the Deshaun Watson's career after he was leading the league in touchdown passes, tied with Carson Wentz. And it's just another case of injuries in this season that have derailed the NFL and its momentum. Dylan, I'll go to you. Do you think this is the biggest injury that the NFL has seen this week, or who do you think holds that spot?
This week, yes, it is Deshaun Watson. I mean, this is an MVP candidate. This guy came out from winning the college football playoff last season in Alabama to taking the NFL by storm. The top two receivers in the league. He has DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller, the two leading touchdown guys in the NFL. However, I don't think it's the biggest injury yet thus far, even at his position. While he is great, Green Bay's number 12, Aaron Rodgers, he's got to be the biggest injury that I've seen so far this season.
Absolutely. I really think that this is it's hard to compete with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he is the best and most important player in this NFL, in my opinion. But I think that Deshaun Watson, just his injury and him out for the rest of the year, adds on to Whitney Merciless and, of course, J.J. Watt being out for the year in a season where Houston Texans fans had so much hope. That's all gone down the drain so quickly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for NFL fans to see so many superstars, like we mentioned, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Odell Beckham, just to name a few, that have gone down with injuries out for this year. But another couple big stories coming out of the NFL this week. As you guys know, the trade deadline has just passed. We saw a lot of blockbuster trades come through this week. Dylan, what do you think was the biggest trade to happen off last week?
Well, two of these deals you see here, Kelvin Benjamin going to the Buffalo Bills and Jay Ajayi going to the Philadelphia Eagles, two blockbuster deals. However, neither one of those two, to me, is the big one. The big one has got to be Jimmy Garoppolo going from New England to San Francisco. He is going to be their franchise quarterback. He's going to be the guy for Kyle Shanahan out there come the future. They thought they were going to draft a quarterback. Now they don't have to. They got themselves a guy for the future, and I really think that he's going to turn the course of this franchise around.
For me, looking at this screen, I really think that it's Jay Ajayi for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not just looking at this 8-1 season, which is going well for them so far, obviously, but looking to the future. LeGarrette Blount's on a one-year contract. You never know what's going to happen with Corey Clement, Wendell Smallwood. Darren Sproles is nearing the end of his career. So I think that bringing in Jay Ajayi, especially with only giving away a fourth-round pick, is a major steal for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Awesome. So if you had to give a name, who do you think is the biggest winner out of these trades?
The biggest winner out of these trades?
Yeah.
I got to say the New England Patriots, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
New England knows exactly how to use these late draft picks that they get. They got a second-rounder, which is going to end up being one of the top picks in the second round. Every single year, New England ends up getting somebody with those picks. They gave up a pick like that to get Brandon Cooks. They used a pick like that to get Jimmy Garoppolo. They used a pick to draft some running backs that have helped them. They used it to grab receivers that have helped them throughout the course of recent memory. They used it to draft Gronk a couple of years ago. They build off of those late first-rounders, early second-rounders, and now they just got another one for a backup quarterback in their book.
Absolutely. Bill Belichick and Bob Kraft doing an awesome job in the draft. Jordan, I'll go to you. Who do you think has been hurt the most by these trades?
There is a clear biggest loser out of this trade deadline, and it is by far the Cleveland Browns. Had an opportunity to trade for the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, A.J. McCarron. Very stellar quarterback out of Alabama, but the front office had some mishaps, to say the least. And they really struggled in the front office department in communication with the Cincinnati Bengals, and that might have cost them 1 or 2 years this year and a bunch of wins going forward.
You see, that was a complicated situation. It got signed by the Bengals right before, and the Browns waltz, and the coaches believe that Sashi Brown nixed that trade. So we'll see what happens. There could be some turmoil in the league on that one.
Absolutely. We'll see how that plays out. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about, obviously we just reached the midpoint of this season. Who's your front runner for MVP so far? Dylan, I'll start with you.
Carson Wentz. It's got to be. I mean, I'm watching this guy, and I really don't know what else to say. The guy is dominating the league. He's got the best football team in the NFL right now. I don't want to play them. I really don't see anybody else who can rival the kind of production that he's put up thus far. He's shown such improvement that the second-year signal caller is putting up as good of numbers as Tom Brady is. Those are my 2 MVP candidates. It's got to be him ahead of Brady because of the headlines that he's grabbing with that 8-win team now. But the conversation to me is him at front, Brady a close second, and then everyone else.
Jordan, what about you? Is it just a race between Wentz and Brady, or is there anyone else we should be looking at?
Right now, Wentz is the clear favorite, but you can never count Brady out. But to me, that's just not interesting.
Yeah.
So I have to throw in a third to this race, and it has to be Alex Smith, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Alex Smith has seen a resurgence going into his 30s now in the last year of his contract after the Kansas City Chiefs signed or drafted a first-round quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, out of Texas Tech. So that kind of lit a fire under him. And going into this free agency period, it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of money he makes if he stays in Kansas City and if he just goes somewhere else.
Nice. All right, well, that will do it for this week's NFL segment on Penn State Sports Night. Coming up next, we have Jorge Garcia, who will give us an update on the Champions League. Stay tuned.